Graham, first of all, Matty Bondswell injured on Tuesday. Any news on him?
As of yet, I don't think he's available for tomorrow. He's picked up a head knock, or was it a shoulder, a head, the back of the neck. So he's hit the ground with a little bit of force. So he's obviously had to come off on Tuesday night. It's not concussion. It's a shoulder, a back of the neck, back of the head injury. I can't quite put my finger on it, to be honest. But we don't know at this moment in time. We'll obviously give him as much time as we can. If we have to give him another 24 hours up until the kick-off, we'll assess him as well. We'll assess him this morning, we'll assess him tomorrow. But at this moment in time, I'm not 100% sure, if I'm being honest, whether he's available or not. If he needs another 24 hours, we'll give him that, yes, no problem.
Because the last thing you need is another player on the side, because there's no Adam Lewis obviously now.
No, obviously Adam is not available for tomorrow. So it's tough. Yeah, it's hard. It's one of those situations that you find yourself in. We're just putting sticky plaster over gushing wounds. We're having to play one or two players out of position. We're having to play formations that are not ours. So it is what it is. Like I say, Rob, we get on with it, and that's what it is. And it's not nice, not a great situation to be in. We should be finishing the season strong, not limping towards the finish line.
With Adam Lewis, is that it for him now? Has he got a 3-game ban, or is?
Yeah, it's a 3-game ban. We're still unsure. We've appealed it unsuccessfully. We've looked at it. The reasons why he was sent off are very unclear. I can't actually see it myself, to be honest. We've looked at the video. It wasn't a tackle because there was no contact. There was no contact made. There was no violent conduct, and that's what he's received a 3-game ban for. Red card is in a straight red is violent conduct. So he was obviously whatever's happened down here on the far side from the dugout. There's been a bit of a kerfuffle. The lad who he was in the challenge with, or the non-challenge, was able to get up and three of them surrounded him and grabbed a hold of him. Now I don't know whether the referee and the linesman panicked and decided the melee. Adam Lewis involved, let's send them off. But it was very, very strange to issue just one red card when 3 Accrington players had come rushing in to grab him. So I would have thought there would have been more consequences there for other players. But look, it's just one of those decisions I can't explain, to be quite honest with you. It's rather embarrassing really when I'm sitting here on a Friday morning 3 days after the game, and I still can't explain to you why he was sent off. But look, that's not the first. That's not the first time that's happened to us. Poor decisions. We've got one of the best disciplinary records in the division, and that's another red card. The one earlier on in the season in September for Ryan Delaney. We've looked at both, and I just can't see how either of them are red cards. So I ain't going to sit here and start whinging over red cards being dished out and things like that. I'm exceptionally proud of our group, given what we have to put up with week in, week out. I'm exceptionally proud of their discipline. We had going up into, I believe we had the best disciplinary record in the division going into February. I've not checked it since, but I would very much hope we're still up there in the division. So we're not, discipline is not an issue. And the 2 red cards are highly, highly debatable, highly, highly controversial, and highly unjust, I believe. And that's a sad state of affairs.
With Adam then, does he go back to Liverpool now, or does he stay down here? And what about, he's talked about loving it down here, what about the future with him?
Well, Adam is, he's obviously, let's put it in chronological order. Adam is a Liverpool player, so it's Liverpool's choice as to which way they want to play it. I personally would like to hold on to Adam. Adam personally would probably like to stay. I've not asked him that question. I'll see him this morning. We're in obviously Liverpool's hands. If they call him back, they call him back. I think that would be probably the option that would be used. They've had him. We've had him all season, so they would want to see him. They would want to get him on the training ground in around, I would suggest, the first team, to have a look at him. See where he is at this moment in time. So I think that's the sensible choice. But I would like to keep him here, yeah. Not only now, but I'd like to sit down with him as well and have conversation around his future. So yeah, that's something we would like to do.
Because I think his contract is up, isn't it, at the end of this season?
I think he's up. I think he's up at the end of the season with Liverpool. So yeah, I do think he's up at the end of the season. I don't know what Liverpool will want to do with him if they offer him a new contract. I don't think we can compete with that. If they don't offer him a new deal, then I would like to maybe have a conversation with him.
Yeah. The run. Have you ever had a run like this before? Have you ever seen a team, how can I put it, hit a wall like your side have done lately?
I've never been in a change room or in a team or been around or associated with a team. Yes, I've lost a couple of games back to back, but I don't think it's to this extreme. I've seen it. We've witnessed it. I've actually seen teams start seasons where they've lost. They've lost numerous games and they've gone on to success. So yes, I've seen it. I look back and I looked at Liverpool last night, and I don't like to use a Premier League team, but I remember when Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool at first, he probably found exactly the same as what we're finding now. What he's asked the team to do, they've done extremely well. I think it was his first season, Jurgen Klopp, and they just hit a brick wall. And he went away in the summer and he addressed it, and he understood. He found the reasons why. So obviously you're looking at things like that as a manager and as coaches and as staff, and we're trying to investigate and look into the reasons why. It doesn't mean they're a bad group, it doesn't mean they're bad players, that's certainly not the case. They certainly haven't downed tools, they certainly haven't disappeared onto beaches or whatever people will be saying. It's a tough period, and I'm the manager of the group, so I have to shoulder the blame. I have to shoulder and take the criticism, which is quite right. I will always try and shadow and protect the players. By all means, behind closed doors, I'll let the players know my feelings. That's fair. But yeah, I'll try and. There's no way the lads have become bad players or bad people or bad characters overnight. That just doesn't happen. Yes, there's mitigating circumstances. A whole lot. I could sit here and bore you with all our stats and where we've gone and how far down we are on things like that. But we've asked a lot of the group. Now, all I asked was for a strong finish from the group. All I asked for them was all I do ask of them is a strong finish, and they to get beyond that 57-point marker and to finish above 15th, which was last season's total. Now, I think that over the whole would be a really successful outcome. Currently, I would take anything the lap of the gods can give me. If that's a performance, if that's a clean sheet, if that's a win, I would take anything that the lap of the gods would send down to me now at this moment in time, because yeah, it's not been easy. Seeing your group depleted, seeing your group void of ideas and confidence and things not happening for them. That's not been easy, and it's not been an easy place, and it isn't an easy place when you're stood on the sidelines. It's a lonely old place. And the one thing about football, when things are going well, you always know people will be looking in mirrors and patting themselves on the back and telling themselves how good they are. When things are not going well, those windows, their mirrors become windows, and the fingers come out them windows and start pointing. And let's be honest, they only ever point in one direction. It's only ever one person's fault. One person's is always to blame, and I'm big enough, ugly enough, and man enough to accept that those fingers will be pointing in my direction at this moment in time. But the one thing we have to do, we have to stick with each other. We have to. The group of players, they have to remain upbeat and positive, and they have to nourish up some sort of energy to go and put a strong finish in. They are all playing for whatever they're playing for. Now that can be contracts, that can be individual targets, that can be whatever. We've all got something to play for in life, no matter where we are or what standard we're at. And I want them to try and enjoy it, because they've done reasonably well this season. I want them to try and turn their fortunes over the last 3 games, and I want them to try and take something into next season positive that we can use it as a springboard, because there will be no doubt we will be looking to progress and we will be looking to push on next season. And I would like them to give themselves every opportunity they can to be part of that next season.
I mentioned lap of the gods. Have you been? And it is a case of there isn't much you can do in it. your defence, usually you'd have an option, wouldn't you, manager, oh, can we change shape, can we do this? But you are literally, this is all you can. Have you been in that position before where you...
Not as a manager. I've not probably worked with a smaller squad as we've worked with as a manager, as a coach. I was always fortunate enough. We were always fortunate enough to be able to compete number wise, even as a player. It's probably one of the smallest groups we've had or we've worked with. Yes, I get that. I'm not seeing a injury hit ravished squad or a club being ravished with injuries, and it's not just once it's happened to us this season. It's on numerous occasions. At no stage this season had we have had our full strength squad or a full strength team to pick from, or full strength availability. At no stage. And what are we're 55 games into a season, so that's extraordinary. At the end of the day, and I say this and I keep saying this and I have to hold on to this just for my own sanity, I believe, and people might think I'm crackers, people might think I'm going off my head, or what is he talking about now, the crazy Irishman. I believe we would be in the playoffs if we had what the fortunes that Crawley and Barrow had. They have had fully fit squads to choose from all season. We've not, and I promise you. And if it wasn't true, I would sit here and tell you. I'll always be open. I'll always be honest. I believe we'd be far better off if we had a stronger squad. Now that might be easy to say, but I think we would be, and we'd be able to make change. We'd be able to adopt and to ride the wave. At this moment in time, we're just not able to adopt and we're not able to ride the wave. I can't recall how many systems we've used over the last 5 or 6 games. So it's not a system. It's not a tactical issue. It's got to be a personal and a fatigue issue. It's got to be a mental issue. It's certainly not tactical, and it's certainly not a footballing issue. It's deeper than that, I would have thought. But at the end of the day, we've got an opportunity to park that bad run, them 6 games, or 5 games, 4 games, whatever it is. We've got an opportunity to park them, and we've got an opportunity to come out fighting and finish the season strong. And that's all I ask. That's all I ask of the dressing room. I don't ask them to go out and perform miracles. I don't ask them to be able to put 100 passes together, 100 passes sequence, because I'm a realist. I know what we are. I know what we can do, and I know what we can't do. But we've got to summon up some sort of energy, some sort of fight, some sort of spirit to get us through these last 3 games and come away and take something out of these last 3 games, because they can't be happy with that themselves. I know they won't be in any way. I know the group, I know the type of characters that's in there, and they want to do themselves proud. And like I say, each and every player is playing for something, whether that be personal or whether that be a collective. They're playing for something. You're always being judged. You're always being looked upon, and you've always got to be proving the doubters wrong. And this is a perfect opportunity for our boys to react and to prove people wrong.
And will that come into your when you start thinking recruitment? How important will almost durability be above quality? If someone comes available who's got that quality you do want, but you look at their record and you see they're maybe only playing 20-30 games a season all throughout their career, is that something you've got to weigh up? You've got to go with people who you know are 40 to 50.
I think that's modern day football. I do think every club will play more and more games. Like the season is a 46 game season. If you add in the cups, you're going to play 51 games minimum. So I do believe that's every football club. I do believe resources in football, finances in football are tight, and I do believe every manager up and down the country will be looking for not only ability, but the best type of ability that players can have at this moment in time is availability. And I think every manager up and down the country will be looking for that. So yeah, fitness is a massive part of football. Durability is a massive part of football these days. Availability is probably the biggest part of football. So yeah, obviously you will be trying to recruit or trying to keep or trying to put together a squad of players that not only can show quality but have durability and have a track record of availability. We've also got to recruit for that X factor, that bit of quality that we've lacked at times this season. We've also got to recruit for speed, because I don't think we're quick enough as a group, as a team. So there's a number of things that we need to put into the melting pot when recruiting. Look, I suppose every manager or every player or every football person can sit in the chair and probably say the same thing and give you the same answers. I know it's a bland answer, but they're probably the main focal points in what we'll be looking at to try and add to this group.
Tranmere, what are you expecting from them?
Well, Tranmere, they've come on to a real decent game. They've obviously changed shape, they mixed shape. They've got some really good lads, top players. A couple of lads that I've worked with, a couple of lads that I know. The manager's done ever so well, Nigel, to steer them away from the troubles that they had. So it will be tough. I've always been, and I've probably broken record. I've always probably, and at this moment in time, I think I'd be crazy to sit here and start talking about anybody else or anything other than our players and delving into the issues and the problems we have and trying to fix the issues we have. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, as is every game in League Two. But it's going to be a tough game. Tranmere will try and dominate the ball, and they'll try and get it out wide. They'll try and service the box. They've got two willing runners up front, two willing strikers who are a handful, and we need to handle them first and foremost, because I think they're the mainstay as to everything Tranmere do. Jennings and Harvey Saunders, if he plays, are really good players as well. So the lead at the back, Tom Davis, is a stalwart at the back for them. So it's not going to be easy for us both ends of the park. So we need to really be at it. In the middle of the park, they'll want to be on the ball, they want to dominate, so we need to get up against them and stop that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of challenges, but nothing that we haven't seen already this season. That's going to be a tough game, and Tranmere will certainly want to finish the season stronger than how they started. So yeah, it's not going to be easy, at all.